Welcome to 1TTD Productions. I'm Tim, Tom, and Derp. And here we are for the first week recap of Division 5A for Blood Bowl. After a bit of an off-season and some downtime, we're getting back to some good old-fashioned violence. So here we go with the intro where we're looking at Division 5A and all of the wonderful violence that's going down in it. So first up, we have the Way of the Memes versus Submit and Obey. It's a Chaos Mirror match that went crazy with a 3-1 victory for Submit and Obey, with Scavenger's Daughter picking up the MVP and Roll Safe picking up the MVP and a level for Way of the Memes. So let's have a look. Seems like the Way of the Memes struggled with ball possession and being able to hold on to it, with a lot less blocks than the other team Submit and Obey, with only one KO and one injury with no kills. So that looks like it was a pretty tough week, especially seeing as Submit and Obey leathered them with 2 KOs and 6 injuries and 1 kill. So it seems like a bit of a rough start for Way of the Memes. Yeah, it looks pretty nasty. Let's go over to the star player points. Oof. That is certainly going to leave a mark over there. Look at the dice rolls. So Way of the Memes, actually pretty lucky, except that's probably going to all be on their armor value and injury, so that's probably where all their luck turned bad. Submit and Obey, they were pretty average on their dice, even sometimes a little bit unlucky. But again, that could have helped them out with their AV. Yeah, still a little bit of extra 5s in there. So let's see what we've got for the block dice. Way of the Memes, pretty even. Few less push, but a lot of the both down. And again, a pretty even dice. So it looks like they were just couldn't stop the injuries, and in a bash versus bash game, that's going to be a bit of a problem. So unfortunately for that one, Way of the Memes took a loss on the first day, and Submit and Obey marched on with a win. For the second match, we are down to Iguana Beat You and Blacktooth Bashers. Again, a high-scoring match with 3 for the Lizards. So let's see what came in over here. Only 4 armor breaks for the Orcs. So that seems like they were held pretty well by the Lizardmen sources, and unable to get any traction while the Skinks ran around and did what they do best with some touchdowns. A lot of ball possession here, so they obviously got the ball and kept it pretty well, especially in the opponent's half for more than half the match. So it looks like that went pretty quick. 60 blocks succeeded. So it looks like they were pinned down and put on their back quite often, with the injuries inflicted for 4, no Kaz coming back. So those 4 armor breaks were just stuns, which led them with 1 completed pass and an MVP. My word. Skink going straight to 11 there with 2 touchdowns and the MVP. Another touchdown here, and then a whole lot of Kazes. So on the dice, ooh, even with the win, he still had a lot of 1s. Let's see where this would have come in. His dodges, so they probably scold some of those. Blacktooth Bashers. Yeah, they had quite a lot of high dice rolls, but again, if those are all on your armor, it's going to be hard for you to get anything going, because all your luck is actually hurting you. And when you put it both together, this was still reasonably high in dice. And then if we go for this block dice, let's have a look here. So, going to Beat You has reasonably average dice there. Tooth Bashers, yeah, they were unlucky, could not get the pals. And then everything else kind of just let them down. So it's a bit of a sad day for the Blacktooth Bashers. Would have been quite a hard match. Can't imagine that being too much fun. Just getting pummeled over and over again. So hopefully they'll get a better go in their second week. So Knights of the Dark Web. Well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, but if anyone's got a clue on how to do it, let me know for next week. And so Knights of the Dark Web got more armor breaks, but unfortunately the Dark Elves seem to have done the passing and the touchdowns to get the win. Let's have a look here. Possession was pretty even. So the Knights of the Dark Web seem to have had a bit of an issue getting their offense to confirm. Got good ball possession, made it into the opponent's half, but it seems like they weren't able to convert. Dark Elves with their usual passing shenanigans. Got the blocks in, took the extra injuries, but with the elfy nonsense that usually goes on, they would have got the last little bit of rushing there just to get the touchdown. So unfortunately, it looks like the humans took a little bit of some elfy nonsense and were unable to secure the win or the draw, but they got a level up on their blocker. Let's have a look. So unfortunately, the Bretonnians, he's got his guard now, so he's going to be pretty good. Let's have a look. 1 MVP in 5 matches. So he's been around for a little while. Good old Knights of the Dark Web getting ready again then. Okay, and on to the final match for this week. It was Cutie Pies versus Bullshider. So in here, the rats did their usual ratty shenanigans. Got themselves a touchdown against the dwarfs. Chaos Dwarfs here. Hobgoblin getting the MVP at the end, their dirty player. Let's have a look. So, yeah, usual rat shenanigans. Keeping the ball, getting a little passing going, and then sneaking into the end zone. However, they did out-damage the Dwarfs with 2 injuries inflicted and only 1 KO. Taking 5 KOs back, but seems like they got their yards running and passing going, and the Dwarfs were unable to keep them out. Pretty even on the blocking, so the Rats looked like they were giving themselves a little bit of a representation in there. And here you can see the Kaz's, the pass, touchdown, onto the dice roll. So, dice pretty even again. Oh, actually, except they're lacking some 6s. So, could have helped with the armor, could have also made it a little bit dangerous for some of the dodges. Down to 68%. I can assume that that's quite a few line rats in there as well as the gutter runners. But 40% on the go for it. They were struggling to get the extra spaces. So that seems a bit of a shame. The Bulls, Shido. Okay. And here, no casualties, unfortunately, succeeded. So they took 2. Going for it, 70%. A lot of going for it for the Dwarfs. Probably trying to catch up with those rats and keep them themselves in the match. 100% wake up after the KO, but a shockingly low pickup. So, yeah, that brings us to the end of the first week roundup. There's 4 matches, so it's a little bit short. I do apologise as well, as due to technical issues, we weren't able to get much going on this, but that will be solved for next week. The new recap should come out around Thursday. Let's just have a quick look at what will be going on next week. Submit Bay, after the first win, took a bit of a kicking from the Lizards. We'll watch that match in a bit more detail and get some highlights for next week. Where the Memes will be fighting off against Knights of the Dark Web. Blacktooth Bashers against the Cutie Pies. And the unpronounceable Dark Elf name that looks like it's going to be winning at Scrabble whenever it plays versus Bullshido. So on these, let's have a think. I think the Chaos could struggle to get a decent offense mounted against the Bretonnians. The anti-Bash versus Bash may have some thing to say about that. The Orcs are going to struggle against the Gutter Runners with a lack of tackle and speed. The Skaven are probably favoured to win that match. And the Dark Elves, if they can keep themselves away from the Dwarf nonsense, they should be able to get some wins. But if the Dwarfs pick up the pace on their casualties, then the Dark Elves could struggle quite significantly there. So that'll be an interesting match. And we'll see how this all goes. And if we look at the leaderboard, after last week, we have Lizardman at the top with their 2 wins, and the Chaos with their 1 win, 1 loss. Going down, we've then got the rest of the teams waiting to play, so we'll see how the leaderboard shakes up after that. But once again, thanks for listening. This was One Turn Touchdown Productions, and we will get the technical issues sorted for next week. Thank you very much for your time, and see you then.